Welcome Scorpio to your August 2016 general reading. I'll be incorporating some love messages in this month's reading, but I'll also be doing or uploading the mid-month August love readings in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for those also. So let's see what messages you have for the month of August and the advice on how to utilize the energies around Scorpios for the month of August, for your highest good and for the highest good of all. Scorpio, I feel like there will be some challenges for you for the month of August. Don't automatically get upset by me having said that. They're not massively major issues, but they are challenges that you will need to work through. The challenges feel related to growth and expansion, possibly even the birthing of a situation, birthing of a new project, possibly even pregnancy. But the main energy here is that you do feel like you need to overcome some obstacles, and you don't feel that you're seeing any growth just yet. Your focus is on growth, your focus is on accumulation, but you haven't felt up till now that you've had that momentum or that experience. You are willing, though, to take up the challenge. That I do feel. And I feel that you're committed enough that no matter what the situation, you will forge ahead. What you're in the dark about, what comes to mind straight away when I try to read the energy here, is that you're not really sure about your motivation, actually. I think that there's some sort of inner work that needs to be done in order to understand your motivating factors. What is it that's motivating you to take up this project, situation, relationship, whatever it is? It's almost like you're not quite sure about yourself. What's driving you with this? And you need to do some inner reflection, inner work in order to determine that, to get some more clarity, because you are searching for clarity. And you're searching for a path that you feel will give you strength and conviction and a clear path ahead. The energy feels challenging because I feel that there isn't that feeling of trust or security, or the knowledge, security in the knowledge that things are going to work out. And I feel like you're holding your energy back for the month of August because you're wary and you know that there will be some obstacles. So you're not going to take too many risks, and you're just going to wait for things to develop and apply your energy when needed. The reason why you're in the dark is maybe you're starting something new. Maybe you're starting a new project, a new area, a new enterprise. You might have moved to a new town and you're not sure about whether it was a great idea or not. Either way, there's been a conclusion of a cycle and you're starting something new. There's a new cycle starting for you, and that brings you a little bit of uncertainty and wariness. And you want to work towards feeling stable and grounded and secure and in a position where you want to flourish. And I feel that that's kind of like the energy you want. You want to feel like you're flourishing, you're growing and evolving and expanding in whatever area it is. You don't feel that quite that way at the moment, but that's what you're working towards. The Nine of Wands is your advice card. The Nine of Wands in this position, I feel it's just saying to be a bit wary. You will need to apply some energy. You will need to put in quite a bit of energy in order to get things moving, in order to forge ahead with whatever this situation relates to. I feel like also that even though you need to apply the energy, you are already wary and you already feel like you've been in the wars. Like you've probably tried a lot of different things. And this is that feeling of, will this one work as well? I'm going to just wait and see, because I've been through the wars before and I'm not quite sure. So the advice really here is to just do that, just to I get a very strong message to be wary, to be aware. There might be a lot of competing energies around you, and you might need to find how you fit amongst all these different energies, or how you fit in a community or a group. If it's a new business and you've got a new business venture with a number of different people, you kind of have to find out where you can slot yourself in that dynamic. And you're a little bit unsure of yourself, actually. So you're kind of just holding back. You're holding yourself back before you take that next step. You are committed to it, whatever it is, you are committed to it, but you're just kind of a little bit wary. And I guess that's okay until you find your feet. And that's where you're kind of headed. You're trying to find your feet. You're trying to get some security. These two cards together are interesting because they kind of both symbolize the sense of holding yourself back a little bit, holding yourself back in terms of how much energy you're expending, and holding yourself back also monetarily. Maybe you're not going to invest as much as other people are. You're going to be a little bit more miserly because you want to see how things develop. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. In fact, that isn't a bad thing, because the Five of Pentacles is where you're headed here. And the Five of Pentacles kind of isn't a great financial card. It isn't, the worst that you could get, but it does caution that there might be a period of time where you may not have or may not feel the flow financially. You might have to really work hard at something in order to get it going, and you might need the assistance of maybe others, or the assistance of a second job. If you've started a new business, you still might need to have that second job to support you for a little time, because you are working towards some sort of financial stability, and you're not sure where that's headed. If we're talking about a relationship, again, there is the completion of a cycle and a decision that's been made, and you're forging ahead after having made a decision or completed the cycle, but you're not quite sure about your motivations again in why you have chosen this course of action, and that's why you're a little bit wary. It's saying to be wary before you expend too much more energy. Maybe there's a lot more that you need to know or do before you can move forward and find security. Again, in a relationship, you are going to be holding yourself back physically. You're going to be holding yourself back in terms of how much you expend or how much you're going to invest in a relationship. You're looking at establishing some security for yourself. And like I said, that's not a bad thing, because there might be a sense of imbalance for a period of time in the relationship where you're not quite feeling nourished or fulfilled for a period of time, or at least for the short duration of August. It's really not a bad reading, but it is saying that there are some challenges that need to be overcome, and it's giving you some insight that the energy is kind of withdrawing a little bit, even though you might have started something or started a new relationship or considering a relationship. It's not the time to rush head on into it. It's time to look at what other options are available to you. Use other options at your disposal. Don't get too committed to something at this point. That's the other message I'm getting. Don't be too committed to something until you see evidence of security and stability, and that you're receiving what you need. You're receiving the nourishment from the situation in order to progress forward. I'm just going to draw a card from the Midnight Sun Tarot, which will give me a little bit more clarity. Oh, that was quick. The Hierophant. The Hierophant is related to, in this deck at least, to Taurus. And the Empress is also related to Venus, and Taurus and Venus are connected astrologically. So it is something about growth and accumulation of an earthy growth, flourishing with, I've been using that word a lot this month in the readings, flourishing with abundance and prosperity and growth. That could be with a relationship or with a business situation. Energetically, the Hierophant is indicating, it's like protection, which is what the Nine of Wands is indicating and advising you to do. Kind of protect yourself a little bit. You've been through a situation a few times, or you've experienced something a few times, and you're a little bit wary, and it's actually okay to be a bit wary. So be discerning and protect your resources. Be a bit wise and plan ahead. That's a really good message. Plan ahead here. Be introspective to plan ahead and to understand what the potential is for the growth of a situation. It's also about communication. So this Hierophant is also highlighting communication on some levels. So be careful about how you're communicating something, and what mode of communication you're going to employ. So it really is discerning and protecting Those are the two messages I'm getting very clearly. Discerning and protecting your resources and gaining insight into your motivations and what will work best for you. In terms of a relationship, again, be discerning and protect yourself enough until you feel that you are getting enough nourishment from a relationship. If you're already in a relationship and you're not satisfied, there is that caution to look at yourself, really. Be introspective in your own needs, your own motivations, your desires, the way that you have set yourself up for the future of the relationship. Is it conducive to the lifestyle that you want, or to what you're hoping to achieve? Because ultimately you want to feel like the Empress. You want to feel abundant and that everything works and that it's flourishing and it's creative and it's growing. If it's not growing, be careful. Hold back a little bit until you are sure. I hope that was useful, Scorpio. It's an interesting message this month. The energies are protective, though. They are protecting you, and they're giving you some insight in how to create the best outcome for yourself, given that there is a little bit of restriction and reserve coming up, reserve in energy. So all the best with that information for August, Scorpio, and I'll see you all soon.